So, good evening, everyone. My name is Christian Kirasevich, and you are watching this week's episode of Social Chatter, your weekly social media marketing talk show covering the latest social media news, trends, and tools to help keep your business on the cutting edge of social media. You know, we know that social media changes very, very, very quickly. And what we like to do, myself and my co-host Nick Rishwain, we like to bring on guests that are doing some really amazing things. And, we're going to go through the topics. We're going to then teach you how you can apply them to your business. And we're going to share a couple of tools with you. So first thing I want to do is I want to just say a quick hello. And then I'm going to bring on Nick. And then we're going to bring on tonight's guest. And tonight's guest, her name is Nicole Abboud. I'm going to have Nick introduce her. But you're watching Social Chatter. So just a quick hello, everyone. How are you doing?
So, Hi, Christian. Good to see you.
It's been a fantastic week. It's been a busy week, but a fantastic week. I'm looking forward to getting into.
You with me?
Yes. So I'm looking forward to getting into the latest news this week. So let's bring on Nick. Nick, can you hear me?
Yep, I'm here successfully, and I got to go find the video again. Yeah, with us tonight is my friend and webinar co-host and one of my board of directors, I guess, and maybe vice versa even, throughout the workday and throughout the week. And Nicole is a recovering attorney in the Southern California area, and she is also currently with Abboud Media. She's the chief teammate at Abboud Media, where she is creating videos for attorneys. So she's doing video marketing for attorneys, and that is Nicole. Would you like to bring her in?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's bring Nicole in. So hi, Nicole. How are you?
All right, there I am. Hi, guys. Thanks for having me here.
You're very welcome. We're happy to have you on the show.
Happy to be. I've been watching you guys for a while, so I'm kind of glad I can be on this side of things and actually contribute.
Yeah, we're glad you could make it. We did try and get Nicole on previously, and she sort of blew me off.
You were gonna say flake.
Yeah,
I had to.
Yeah, she flaked on me. She blew me off because she had another networking event to go to. So
sorry about that. You're still a little sour about that. Huh?
I'm a little sour. I've taken it very personally.
I'll make up for it tonight.
I'm sure you will. You usually do. So, Christian, we've got a good night tonight. There was a lot of news this week. It turned out it was slow in the beginning of the week when we talked, but then it seemed to pick. I chose the 4. I think you got them. We've got. I figured start with the Instagram live video, where you're now able to save Instagram live videos, because I thought that would be. I thought that would try it out Instagram the first time, Instagram live the first time, and realized it is only. It's like a video conferencing tool where it's only as good as when you're there live. It's kind of like Periscope was in the very beginning. Okay. So this it came from Instagram's blog. By the way, are you watching? Is anybody else checking out the Facebook.com/social chefs feed? I'm having some video interruption, but that could be my connection.
I'm watching it, and it seems okay on my end. It's delayed, but it's good.
Yeah, there is a delay, but okay, so it may just be my connection at this point. Anyway, so thank you for that, Nicole. So this came out on the 20th, March 20th, and it said starting today, so about 3 days ago, it said starting today, you'll have the option to save your live video to your phone at the end of a broadcast. While live videos will continue to disappear from the app when you're done, this update gives you the flexibility to hold onto your video, rewatch it later, reshare it, and maybe even repurpose it, which is the way that I thought about it from a social media standpoint. This is a good tool for repurposing if that's what you choose to do. I don't think there's a lot of other detail in this particular article that is any more specifics, there is up in the top right-hand corner of the app, when you finish the video, there is a little button that you push to save, and I think that saves then to your phone, and maybe it does. Does it save to the app? I may have missed that. I think it saves to your camera roll.
Yeah, it should save to the camera roll, actually.
Yeah, okay. So I think that's about all there is in this particular feature or this particular article. What are your thoughts on this, Nicole? Do you think it's of any value to the user?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think this is something a lot of people who, when Instagram came out with the stories capabilities, it's something a lot of people, I heard at least, complaining about the fact that they can't save their live videos. So what's really the point? It was too spontaneous, and then your followers really had to be there to catch it, right? So I think this is just going to encourage more people to do live streaming, live video, knowing that they can save it and, like you said, repurpose, which is something you and I are all about. So
that's right.
I think it's definitely a good thing. It disappearing from Instagram itself, from the app itself, is an interesting little twist, because that means people still have to catch it live, but only you can.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting, but that may just be an early development.
That's true.
Like Periscope had that. They sort of made this same transition where they disappeared after 24 hours, and then you could save it to the camera roll or save it to a third-party service, and then finally they just automatically saved. So, Christian, what are your thoughts about this?
So, I love the fact that people are going to finally be able to save this stuff. I mean, a lot of people. And I like the fact that they kind of are rolling this out like incrementally, because of the fact that a lot of people want this, but if you roll it out initially, like everybody's gonna they need to kind of get used to the feature, and then if they say, hey, I wish I could save these, that gives Instagram in a way information to know, like, what do we do next, instead of just throwing a bunch of time into developing something that people might not be interested in. So I like the fact that they're doing that. It does save your camera roll, but also they don't save the let's see. So actually, they don't save the comments, likes, number of viewers of any of your interactions when you do the save. So it's just basically saving the content. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
That's interesting. That is an interesting item, because that may make the repurposing of the video a little bit less useful unless you just ignore anybody who is there with you live. Because there won't be context to why you are commenting.
Right.
Right.
That somebody said. So that may make the repurposing less useful. But if you had a really good, if you start and you welcome people and then say from this point to this point, I'm going to share just content, so please forgive me for ignoring your comments, then maybe it'll be of more value there.
Now, as far as the whole part about saving and then saving your camera roll and then removing it from the app, I'm wondering if they're doing that because they want people to be very deliberate with what they save. Essentially, if it removes it from the app, I mean, maybe people want to do something, they want to do it temporarily, and then just get it off their feed. So almost like, Facebook pages, for instance, they have a disappearing post feature where you can expire posts, very similar maybe to that, I guess.
Could be.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that might be the way they're going. Anyway, I think that pretty much sums up that new topic. Does anybody have any final thoughts on the topic?
All good here.
Yeah, okay. So our next topic tonight is Hootsuite acquiring a leading Snapchat analytics solution. This was a press release from Hootsuite on March 21st. Hootsuite is one of what they claim in their own press release, the most widely used social media management platform today. They announced the acquisition of Snapchat analytics solution created by Narrative, a Los Angeles-based content creation company powering stories for today's biggest brands. So this kind of goes also hand in hand with their recent purchase of Ad Espresso and a social analytics leader, Lift Metrics. Recognized, let's see, there's that we felt our Snapchat solution was complementary to the innovative marketing solutions that Hootsuite offers to brands and agencies, said Dan Altman, co-founder of Narrative. Hootsuite is a market leader for social media management across both paid and organic channels. Looks like it's just, advertising companies needed some better information with which to make their Snapchat campaigns work for them. It looks like Narrative has an analytics solution that has helped companies to understand and enhance the impact of their campaigns on that platform, and that's why Hootsuite had picked them up. Any thoughts on this? Is this good, Nicole? Is this...
So I was actually going to say, I don't think I really understood what, and I read through the article, I don't think I really understood what they were going to offer. So they're just collecting data on how many views, how much engagement there is with Snapchat-related campaigns or snaps, I suppose. Is that what it is?
Yeah, Snapchat-related campaigns. But you're right.
Okay.
It is not very specific on as to what types of analytics they offer. I imagine if I go to Narrative's site, I can get a little bit more information about the data that they do provide. But I can't say that that's accurate now that I'm on their website.
So, okay.
Yeah,
maybe they haven't fully written about it, I suppose.
It doesn't look like it looks like their website just goes now back. The main link on their site leads us back to the the press release. So maybe they are done. Maybe they're already converted over to Hootsuite. But if Narrative was a good choice, if they have done, it looks like they've worked with Disney, they've worked with the We Buy Gold people and Fox News, as well as Coca-Cola, Yoplait, L'Oreal, Marriott. So it looks like they must have some interesting statistics that would help somebody with their marketing campaign. Okay. Chris, what are your thoughts?
So I'm very interested in the fact that Hootsuite didn't really do much of anything for the last 5 to 10 years, I guess I could say. And I know that's kind of a pretty big range for them, but they haven't really done a whole lot in the last few years. A lot of companies came out and they said, hey, you know what? We're going to come out with our own social media management dashboard. And they did that. Hootsuite was very, very, very stagnant. They were very overpriced with their reports they gave you. But I like the fact that they're starting to make some moves. Like they made the move a couple months ago, or was that maybe a month ago, at Espresso, acquiring that. They've been now they're adding Snapchat. The one thing I think I'm really thinking about on this is it going to be too much for the Hootsuite platform? It's a web-based tool. I think they had some apps, but they always kind of were a little slow. And so I'm interested to see what they're going to be doing, like the direction they're going. A friend of mine, Coca Sexton, he works for Hootsuite now, and I'm actually out here in California and had a chance to meet him. We're chatting, but I think that overall, I want to see what they're going to do with this because I'm glad they're adding features, but I think it might be too much for people.
It may be, and I can't speak from experience, but maybe it is overkill, or maybe it's a necessity. I know we're going to talk about this next week, Christian, but I took a survey today that Twitter sent out, and you sent me a link about the article where Twitter is actually sounds like they are coming up with their own dashboard, their own TweetDeck related. It's going to be a premium service through TweetDeck, which is a Twitter-owned service that may be competing with the likes of Buffer and Hootsuite.
Absolutely. And you made CoSchedule too. CoSchedule also, they revamped their policies and how they're going to actually work now. So who knows? I don't really know what the direction this is going, but I like the fact that there's competition. I just hope that, one of the missteps I think Hootsuite made was their reporting was basic reporting, and now that they're adding like Instagram, they've got Instagram now, and now they've got Snapchat, they want to have those analytics, which I think is great. I just hope they're not going to get into it and say, hey, we're going to charge you, a ton of money, because they were charging way too much for their reporting before. For what
interesting. Okay. Yeah. And that was an interesting thing from the Twitter survey that I did, where they asked, do you think $4.99 a month for this premium membership based on what they were trying to sell would be too much for enhanced analytics, social scheduling, in a wide variety of other things. So who knows? I'm already in that platform on a regular basis. That might be my go-to platform. But I can't speak. Nicole, did you use Hootsuite for some time?
I did, a little
You had
while.
some personal experience with it. What were your thoughts?
I used a free version. I don't remember paying for that. And then I switched over. I probably used it for a few months, and then I switched over to Buffer,
Okay.
which I do pay for. But Hootsuite, I remember it being okay. It was decent. I think it just didn't do what I needed it to do at that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot speak from personal experience, so it looks like Christian and Nicole, you guys have had the personal experience with Hootsuite. So, but this seems like it's Snapchat specific, and for those of us involved, we're pretty much limited to the number of impressions that you get right now in our Snapchat accounts.
Yeah, and it's gonna be great to see. If they can pull out something, for Snapchat analytics, there's not very many companies that actually offer this sort of thing. So maybe they're getting into it for almost kind of getting into the game a little bit ahead of time, to kind of like cut off some of these other companies at the pass. So we'll see.
That's right.
And I wonder what other analytics they can collect. Is it demographic numbers, what breakdown, or what is it? Because we already know how many people view and how long they last, right? When they drop off. So I wonder what else they're gonna collect.
Yeah. Now I wasn't aware that we know when they drop off of watching. Well, Snap.
You can kind of see where the views go down. That's what
correct.
I meant.
You're right. Okay, I was thinking that I was missing a statistic that, but yeah, you're right. But I'm guessing that they may include engagement, and you could probably track it by particular story and how much feedback you got, or how many direct messages you got off after a particular story or off of a particular snap.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting to know, to get some data on what seems to be performing well for you from an advertising standpoint. Our next story is also a Snapchat story that I think is pretty interesting, and I'm going to try, because I have not, for one of our former guests, Biz Aaron, or Aaron Adele, had mentioned that the Discover section is the garbage section of Snapchat, and most of us, most of the folks that I speak with on Snapchat almost never go into this section. But this article from March 21st in Forbes says that Snap Inc. has inked a deal with MGM Television, the Mark Burnett-led producer of the show, shows such as Survivor, Fargo, Shark Tank, and Hulu's upcoming The Handmaid's Tale, to develop and produce shows for the social network's Discover platform. Now, this is what Aaron has referred to as the garbage section. It's what my experience has been previously. This might be changing it. So this deal is Snap's first with a major entertainment studio, and it's been adding a considerable amount of networking programming. Now, Snapchat shows are original, standalone, 4 to 5 minute pieces of programming produced and shot vertically for mobile. Shows are shot with Snapchat audience in mind, giving a unique and energetic feel, says the press statement. So they said they'll come from all genres. These 4 to 5 minute standalone scripted shows or pieces of content will be all genres, from comedy, drama, unscripted sports, news, and reality. This is pretty innovative. I'm going to go over to the section tonight. I think Disney, hadn't they done something with Disney? Didn't we just report on that a week or two back, Christian?
Actually, yeah, we did. Disney actually was going to start producing some shows basically for Snapchat. We didn't really know what it was going to be, whether it was going to be like trailer, content that would lead to like a movie trailer, Or to get you to like buy a ticket to a movie or a DVD or something, or if it's going to be totally original content. I suspect it'll be the original content, obviously.
Yeah, I suspect that as well. But I think this will give me. It will certainly be interesting to see. Now they do mention in this that I think it was in this article that with over 160 million users, the vast majority are under the age of 30. So it may, even when they do come up with this, will it appeal to me? I don't know. But I think it is worth taking a look to see what a standalone 4 to 5 minute show or piece of drama, comedy, something like that, what it might look like. And I can't seem to see anything in the Discover section right now that says MGM or Disney, so I don't think that it's anything that has launched as of yet. What are your thoughts on this, Nicole? I know you've moved recently from Snapchat over to Instagram, but
yeah, I miss it. I think it's really cool, and I know you said that Aaron had mentioned that that's the garbage section. I've checked out a whole bunch of that stuff before when I used to be on Snapchat pretty regularly. So I've looked through that, and granted, it's mostly magazines at this point. I think it's really cool. I think, like you said, it's innovative, the 4 to 5 minute mini shows, and especially if it's Disney doing it, because they already know that the demographic on Snapchat tends to be a little younger, so I think Disney's perfect to lead the way in that sense, I guess. Mm-hmm. I'm a fan of just, I guess, building a platform, just making something your own little TV station, in essence, and that's what's happening here, so I think it's really cool. It'll be fun to watch, so...
Yeah, I really like this idea. Christian, what do you think about this idea?
So you and I have talked about this a lot, and I love this idea. Granted, 4 to 5 minute shows, I think it's going to be really neat to have people producing very focused content, essentially, in a 4 to 5 minute show. I still, though, look at it like, okay, great, somebody's going to produce this for Snapchat. Then, hey, you can essentially do that on YouTube, for instance. Just use YouTube Live or Facebook Live and do essentially the same thing like we do here, for instance, a 45-minute show that we do every Thursday. So it's essentially, almost one and the same. But I love the idea of this, and I'm actually really interested to see what a lot of these, media companies, because, Disney's a media company. They're also, obviously, they contribute a lot. Huh?
And MGM, so they've got Disney and MGM.
That's going to be really cool. And actually, I also look at it like this. Like, okay, so you got MGM, you've got other, movie studios. So movie studios, they're licensing, basically, somebody creates a movie and then they have the license for it. And then they, give that out to, or give it, sorry, they don't give anything away. They basically, sell it, the rights to other places to be able to broadcast it. And so I could almost see this, like, market, emerge to let people sell 4 to 5 minute shows, or seasons or something to that effect. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of things you can do here. Our friend who is in the entertainment industry, or the one of my few friends who are close to the entertainment industry, our friend Joe Wilson, and former guest Joe Wilson, is on Facebook Live, and he says, more shows, more money, more problems.
Is he saying more or mo?
Yeah. It could be mo problems. It could be mo problems.
Mo money, mo problems.
Yeah.
So, by the way, Nick, I want to ask on that. Like, can we maybe get something where, we need something that develops more time somehow?
Yeah. You mean to watch all the content?
Absolutely.
Or you mean just life?
Well, we need way more, something to be able to give us more time. I mean, something to be able to get it, out to us, and let us really be able to consume that, or at least know more about it, I guess, so that we can really stay tuned in, because there's content everywhere these days. It's
everywhere, so you really have to pick and choose. You have to pick and choose what you're going to watch, which I have to tell you is kind of an interesting thing. If I'm already in Snapchat and I get tired of watching Joe Wilson's story or Aaron Adele's story or something like that, then I might go over and watch a 4 to 5 minute video. And that, that might be, since Nicole left, it's just I'm really lonely over on Snapchat.
There you go. Now you've got Disney stars to keep you company.
Yeah, now I've got Disney stars and MGM stars to keep me company.
By the way, Nick, I could even see something really cool with this. Like, let's say somebody, let's say they create, like, you have like, okay, you got real people. What if they created shows and they created channels specific to individual characters? So, like, somebody puts on, for instance, like let's say it's Aladdin or something like that. I don't watch very many Disney movies. Somebody puts on Aladdin, and hey, I'm Aladdin. I'm creating these 4 to 5 minute shows, and I'm Disney, for instance. That could be pretty neat, actually.
It could be, yeah. I think it could be, and I don't think it would be hard to do a series. Start creating a series of 4 to 5 minute videos, and I like this just because there isn't necessarily enough time to sit down and watch a half-hour show or an hour show, and maybe, but this I'm not sure I want this to be. I've got a short enough attention span as it is. Do I really want to cut this down to 4 or 5 minute shows now?
And I wonder if it's gonna, and this might be a silly question, if those if those shows that are going to be in the Discover tab, if those will incorporate some of the other Snapchat features, like the lenses and the drawing, or I'm not sure if that's even possible when you're creating something, or if it's just going to be like a regular show.
Kind of like what we're doing here, yeah.
I think we're gonna only find out once we start seeing the shows, and like I said, we reported on that Disney thing a couple of weeks back, and I still see what appears to be, and I'm scrolling through it right now. It still appears to be mostly news, and I do see a Comedy Central thing here, but I don't see anything indicating Disney. So I don't remember if they had just inked that contract too, or in the MGM one is larger. But I think this is the difference between Facebook and Snapchat that I think they really lead the way in this innovative thinking. And I like the fact that this is going to be all vertical video, appealing to the mobile crowd. Shall we move on to our last topic for the evening and get into some tools?
Sure. So which topic is this going to be, Nick?
So this one is the new ways to go live on Facebook Live.
Let's pull that. I'm going to bring that up for everybody because this is good stuff here.
Yeah, this is, and I thought I had this option already. When were we talking about? Let me get to the story first. Excuse me, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, Facebook announced, I think this was just yesterday, that as of yesterday, people around the world can broadcast live to Facebook from their desktop or laptop computers. Well, it's been possible for people to go live from their mobile devices since last year. Desktop or laptop computers provide a stable camera setup that can be beneficial to many types of Facebook Live broadcasts, including our own type of Facebook Live broadcast. They talk about from Q&As to blogs to tutorials to any broadcast from someone who isn't on the move. To get started, I think that sums it up, doesn't it? Does anybody... and then they do say that you can go, there is another part of this article that says they go live with streaming software. We've also added a new feature that makes it easy to use streaming software or external hardware when going live from a computer. This capability previously was possible only through a page. That's what I was confusing it with, Christian.
Okay.
I thought we were able to do it before, but it was through the business page only. But they've had feedback from their community that it would be useful for profiles too. So now this will be available to profiles, and if I remember correctly when reading this article, they also have the option to broadcast to Facebook groups that they belong to, Facebook events that they're part of, or Facebook pages that they manage. And that's with the streaming software and from desktop across the platform. So what are your thoughts, Nicole? You texted me this morning saying, or maybe it was yesterday, I can't recall now, but that you're ready to get back to some more live video, and here you are tonight.
Right.
But you were saying you want to go back to the live video. Do you think this will be beneficial, or not back to, but you want to do some more of that in addition to your standard video that you're working on? You want to do some more live.
Yeah.
Is this going to be beneficial to you?
For me, not really, to be honest. I think it's good to have options, and I'm sure for a lot of people it's going to be good. I prefer my phone just because the camera is better. So I think that's my situation. My computer camera is not as clear, so I'm going to stick with my phone.
Okay, all right, for the time being. But let's say you were to upgrade the computer or something like that. Yeah. Would the desktop? Would that matter to you at all? I guess it just gives you some options. Yeah,
it just gives me options. I'd try it out, of course. I mean, if it's there, it doesn't really add much to my life, but I'd try it if I had a better camera on my laptop or desktop.
All right. Christian, what are you thinking?
So I take this approach. So I think that, one, I use both tools. So I use mainly I'm using my laptop. And obviously, Nick, you and I have talked about this, but I use my laptop because I actually upgraded my webcam to a 4K webcam. And then I also have an external mic that I'm using. So, sound, having an excellent webcam, and lighting are some of the most important things that you want to have, obviously, in addition to, really great content. So I think that overall, like, if you're going to use your laptop, you want to make sure, you have the right machine with the right equipment to really make your show look and sound as best it can. In Nicole's case, I mean, you mentioned using mobile. I like using mobile. I ran into a few issues with using Facebook Live with certain mics. Like, you can add external mics and lighting. But the mics, for instance, they would, give you like some feedback, like, noise and whatnot during your live broadcast. And it was very, it was very random. It was not something that, hey, I could always like say, hey, this is actually gonna like have some feedback on it. And I can't just go offline. I need, to have either cellular connection or Wi-Fi. So in that sense, like, I kind of use almost mobile as my backup per se, and then my laptop, as the main, as the main way for me to use Facebook Live.
Okay.
So I like the fact this is giving people options.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, my preference is to be. Then again, where am I mostly? I'm either in front of a computer at the office or I'm in front of a computer at home. So my preference would be to have it on the bigger screen, and I can do more on desktop or laptop than I can do with my mobile phone. So I do like the idea of, and I'm hoping, I think, that this is preceding our potential for multi-person Facebook Live. Not that we need it now, that with the software that we're using, it seems to be really good. But in a pinch, if we had some funny connections or difficulty launching with the software that we use, then I think that it would be a nice backup to be able to do multi-person right from your desktop on Facebook Live in the same format of our existing show.
Absolutely. By the way, Nick, I'm actually sending you some links because I want to recommend a guest. I mean, if you're gonna or anybody who's watching, if you're gonna want to do Facebook Live, you kind of have to look at your equipment that you have, and if you don't have the right tools, for instance. Your video, it's not going to look, it's not going to really look that great, and that's going to impact your audience. Like, if it's the first time they're meeting you, you want to make sure you have the right setup for both situations. So I actually have, we have a couple of guides over on socialchefs.com that we're going to actually put here in the Facebook feed to really help people. So that way they can, you can check out your setup. If you like, if you're like, hey, I'm going to do mobile. Well, hey, here's some things you should have. If I'm going to do, Facebook Live from the web, here's what you should have as well. So,
very cool. And it seems that, Christian, before we go into the tools, it seems that we are missing some of our regular guests tonight, and I think that's because many of them are regular visitors, because I think many of them are with you down in San Diego. What's going on down in San Diego?
So we're at a marketing conference, actually.
What's it called?
We're at Social Media Marketing World. And we're over here with let's see, I'm not sure how many, a lot of people. I think it's a few thousand. Wow. So we're on different time zones and making the best of everything. So I think a lot of people are out to dinner or something like that. But it's been a good time so far.
I bet. It seems that you've met some of our previous guests already, and so it's always nice to be able to meet people in real life after you've met them face to face on live video. So
definitely, we ran into Chelsea. I think she was on last week.
Last week, yeah.
We ran into Ivan. Ivan is
my co-host on Legal Tech Live, and a future guest, I believe, here. Though we haven't, I don't know if you guys pinned anything down for that.
Not yet, actually. We're working on that. And then we also ran into a regular viewer. I think she actually sent you a snap earlier, maybe?
She did, yeah. Nat's Wing is a regular viewer, and she and Nicole and Joe and some others of us hung out at Summit Live, and she said you're quite serious, Christian, and I said, well, I'll work on loosening him up a little bit.
Sounds good.
He's serious about marketing, that's why.
Yes,
that's right.
Well, I want to help businesses,
But you were also in a hurry to get back to the hotel, as I understand, because it was literally right before you were leaving to come do the show.
Definitely.
Have you learned anything so far? Have they started with their sessions?
Yeah, they started today, actually. Yeah, there were a few yesterday, but yeah.
Anything that stands out?
Really, I would say this. I mean, this is just a basic marketing principle. I mean, everything, it all revolves around relationships. It's about having relationships with people. And you don't always want to approach a relationship to start and say, hey, let me sell you on something. Get to know people. Give back to them. Like, don't be a taker.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, last year live video was the predominant theme, so it'll be interesting to hear what comes out of this year's conference as the predominant theme. But I certainly attended last year, I think, as did you, Christian, and in live video seemed to be, that's what everybody was screaming about last year.
Absolutely.
So it'll be interesting what you see, and next week you can give us an update on what the kind of predominant theme was.
Will do.
Okay, Christian, what do you got for us in the way of tools?
So let's talk about some tools for today. So I've been trying to be very deliberate about the tools that we've been selecting. And by the way, I also want to just say, just real quick, I mean, we're always looking to help businesses. So all the topics, all the information we bring on, we want to give you information that you can actually start applying to your business instead of just saying, hey, great, it's something else for me to do. All the topics that we had today, saving Instagram live videos, all the new Facebook going live from your computer, or, for mobile, getting the right setup. We want you to have the right setup so that you can start creating some really great pieces of content. So in the way of tools, the first one we have for you is Swipeable Panorama for Instagram. Now, specifically, Instagram tool. What this basically does is you can basically make your panoramas swipeable on Instagram. So this is tapping into that whole multi-image feature that Instagram has just rolled out.
Yep.
Very cool.
Now, this is pretty slick. You basically can put your photo in there, and then it will, basically what it does, it takes the panoramic photo and it will slice it and dice it so that you end up with however many images you need to put in your carousel post on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
I thought this was so cool. I love Instagram, so this is something I definitely I download. So I'm going to check it out.
And it's it's a free download too. That's the other cool thing.
Nice.
Even better.
So you like this, Nicole? You think that this might be? You are much more active on Instagram than I am, and a few more of the tips and tricks and tools than I do. So you think this is something you would use?
Yeah, I think so. And I say this knowing that I get excited about all the new features that come out, and then I eventually die down and go back to the basics, right? But I really like it. I don't take too many panoramic pictures to start with, but this might encourage me to take more. I've played with the multi-slide or multi-picture feature in general, and I liked it. I feel like you're kind of unfolding a story as you go. This is a different way because you're putting one picture and it's throughout different pictures, but I liked it. I like it.
Okay, cool.
By the way, Nick,
I know that in the past, Nicole has taught me or told me about other items that I was like, well, how do you do that? And she's told, well, you have to download a separate app to do that. And so she uses it much more frequently than I am. So, or probably much more innovatively than I do. So
I don't know.
a word? Did I say that word right?
Yeah, sure.
It came correctly.
By the way, just a couple other features on this app. So, one, it takes basically what it does is if you're, for example, if you're taking panoramic photos, and by the way, you could do this with your iPhone. I'm an iPhone user, don't have an Android device, but you can use, you take a panoramic photo by opening the stock camera app, going to the panoramic option. I think it's called Pano, and then, start that, and you can go, from left to right or right to left with the panoramic photo. By the way, just a quick tip on that. For those of you who want to take a panoramic photo, when you open the app, I think it shows the arrow going from left to right. You can tap on the arrow and it will actually flip the arrow around, so you can actually go the other way if you want.
Oh, wow.
So
that's pretty cool.
That way, you're not stuck going in a circle. You can always go, or you can go in reverse if you want to. You're still going in a circle, but yeah. So you've got that, and you can also save these swipables to your camera roll, and they'll and then share them seamlessly to Instagram or other networks, and also obviously tap into Instagram's filters as well. So this is a really cool feature or cool app for a free app, obviously.
Excellent.
I like it.
What else have you got for us,
Okay,
Christian?
so the last tool that we have for tonight's show is called Smart Portrait Editor. So what is a dual camera? What that actually will do is it will let you create, for instance, if you see in the background, you can see the wallpaper, the air conditioning unit, the lights. So if I want to blur that out, if I have the iPhone 7 Plus, it has a feature that automatically does that. But hey, if I don't have that phone, then what can I do? Well, if you download this app, it will actually help you with blurring the background, so you don't need the more expensive device.
Ooh.
Now, that's a free app as well. There's no in-app purchase, there is a $2 in-app purchase if you want to get it, if you want to remove some of the watermarks and stuff they do. But fantastic tool to have. Normally, if you want to do this with a DSLR camera or something, you have to have a certain lens with a certain focal length to be able to, separate the, what you're focusing on from the background. So this app, well worth it as a free app.
Okay, excellent. Well, that just about does it for us. We usually like to wrap up with Nicole. You're our visiting lecturer tonight. And actually, I should say that Christian Joe Wilson mentions you may see him in a Snapchat geo filter at the convention center. I guess he has. So take a look and see what comes up. I'm assuming it'll be creative and or funny.
Okay.
Maybe both together, but he doesn't make any promises on that. I'm speaking for him. So, Nicole, tell us, are you working on anything exciting, anything that you want to share? Tell us what you are working on and where people can find you.
Sure. So exciting stuff I'm working on right now. Just getting the word out about the new business. I think the beginning stages are always the hardest. So just letting people know that I have this new service that I'm offering. I'm really excited, and it's video marketing for lawyers. The best way to find me, I guess, would be the website. So AbboudMedia.com. That's ABBOUD media.com, and I'm on social media as Nicole Abboud. Actually, no. Let me give my Instagram since I posted so much about liking it. So that's at Nick_Abboud, NIC_ABBOUD.
_Abboud. And I'm posting those on
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, and
this was fun.
yeah, I'm glad you came on. Glad that something else didn't come before us this time.
I apologize. You'll never let me live that down. I apologize.
Why would I? I get joy out of it.
Right? No, it was great being here, and I love what you guys are doing. And the fact that you're staying on top of all these new developments is pretty amazing.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. And Christian, don't disappear right away, anybody. We have a few follow-up announcements, and I'll turn it over to you, Christian, for that.
Thanks a lot, Nick. So just a couple of reminders for everyone. And by the way, Nicole, really happy to have you on the show tonight. You've done a fantastic job. So a couple of things we want to let everybody know about. Next week, I think we're on at 9 o'clock, right, Nick?
Yeah, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.
Yep, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. You can check us out at facebook.com/social chefs. And then for those of you who want to get on our email list, basically what we do is right before the show, we send out the topics that we're going to talk about. We also give you a recap of last week's episode. So in this case, this will be appearing in a blog post. If you go to socialchefs.com/subscribe, that'll get you on our list, and we'll make sure you get that information. And then lastly, if you want to connect with us on our social channels, here are the best places to do that. We're on, Facebook. We're at all the channels on at Social Chefs. But that's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Let's see, Pinterest. So basically, those are the channels we're on. But I want to thank everyone for watching.
I'm not seeing the slide on that, Christian. Do you have the slide for?
Yeah, let me see what's going on there, actually. And that could be a connection issue. Let me see.
It was a slow load on our opening image as well tonight, so that might be it. That might just be a connection issue.
Yeah, I'll have to check those out. Yeah, because I'm not seeing it right now, and it's not opening for me. So.
All right. Well, we'll wrap it up. Let's wrap it up with that. We'll
put the links. By the way, we'll put the links in the Facebook on the Facebook page for everyone who wants to get in touch with us.
Yeah, and because we were giving away so many pieces of information, Joe Wilson, who is now, since you are at a summit, feels that he's back in the trolling position and would like us to provide our social security numbers.
Sure. It's a reasonable request.
Reasonable request.
Well, Nicole, it's been fabulous having you.
Thank you for having me. It's been great talking to you guys.
Thanks very much.
Thanks so much.
Have a good one.
Have a good night, guys. Bye, everyone.
Bye.